a lot of people do use that as an excuse. I don't. I just think it's just different. You just got to handle it different. Like, it really all comes down to the way you communicate, and don't just try and shove stuff down people's throats so you'll get nowhere.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's just the way you approach it. But I think
So what else?
Rocket science, man.
Any challenges in Australia? Like, because we get people all the time from New Zealand, Australia, I mean, all over the world, obviously, but any specific challenges, anything different out there? I mean, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, to be honest with you, like 110, I've probably got like 30 or 40 in the UK, where I'm from.
Yep.
So do I notice a difference? Like, yeah, there's slight cultural changes in terms of the way you sell, and communication styles are definitely different in the US.
Yep.
In terms of maybe, but a lot of people do use that as an excuse. I don't. I just think it's just different. You just got to handle it different. Like, it really all comes down to the way you communicate, and don't just try and shove stuff down people's throats so you'll get nowhere.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's just the way you approach it. But I think there has been a bit of a challenge like this year. There's no doubt about it. Like, COVID has made a lot of people do home renovations and stuff like that, and like that's the majority of my lead gens are in that space, the building and renovation and whatnot. So I think it has, and you speak to every builder and they're like, mate, we're so full, we're so booked out, it's crazy. And it's like, at first I remember thinking, shit, man, this is gonna be tricky, but it's just a numbers game. There's always someone who's hungry for more work and who has the capacity to
there's always someone that's hungry for new work. There's always someone that just got let go from a profession and they're like, screw this, I'm going to go start my own. Those people are great, by the way, because you see their business get registered on the state register, at least in the US. And those are easy contracts because they're like brand new babies and they want every job they can get because they're starting from scratch, but they're sick and tired of working for someone. So there's that. And then there's the one that I think people forget a lot, which is being able to take the skill sets and utilizing them for yourself. And that's where I spend a lot of time now. Is I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is not my only business. And so I use the skills, that same stuff we're training you and everyone else in the group. And I'm using that stuff for my own businesses. And because I don't have to sell anyone now because I'm the owner, I'm selling myself. And I'm able to use these skill sets and launch different products, different businesses, different what have you, partnerships, you name it. And now I have my hands in, 17, 18, 19 businesses, but I'm in control of the marketing. I'm in control of the leads. And so I'm at a place now where I don't even have to split hairs and get, $1,000, $2,000 a month. One of those rankings and starting to get calls for some of these industries that I've entered into, they're worth a lot more than $1,000 a month to me. Obviously one was worth about 30 million in sales, and that's pretty dope. So I like that as well as you kind of get more reps in. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, so I still have all my local clients and things like that, but I'm also finding ways to be able to go in, enter into a marketplace, build the leads up, own the company, and then do what I want with it. Take the cash flow from it. Maybe I sell it off to the worker that I recruited in to do it. So those are the doors that I believe start opening up for people that we don't even really talk about. But I've been able to utilize these skills to be able to maximize the value I can derive out of businesses I start too. So I think whether you're a small business owner watching this or you're maybe a disgruntled employee that wants a different direction in life, the skills pay the bills, but you got to be willing to put the time and effort in to master them. And listen, it's not rocket science, like Craig just said. It's really not. It's just going through it a number of times, getting it under your belt, and then executing. That's it.
Definitely. And I think it's funny, like it seems like a lot of people will often start the program and they've got their own business where they're a builder or a fence builder, but they're a carpenter, and I think from listening and speaking to people, they're like, oh yeah, I started the program because I wanted to generate more leads for me, and then they realize that
it's more lucrative.
Yeah, it's more lucrative doing it for other people because you're not hammering in nails and on the got dirty knees and stuff. I think and that can often I think some business owners do get, they almost, like, some get it, some don't. Like, it could really kind of rustle a few feathers when they realize that, we can pretty much dominate a market, like, within sometimes a couple of weeks, and they're like, how the hell are you doing this? And we're like, well, like you said, it's the skills that
Magic.
they wish they had. It's pretty mind blowing sometimes that, I've pretty much got, I feel like I've went gangbusters on one specific niche here in Australia, and if you Google, like, pretty much every city, I'm there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's nuts, man. Yeah.
Hey, it's not bad to have a monopoly, right?
Nah,
Own all the spots. I mean, hey, we've been trying to do that, playing that game for years. I want to own all of them, so you keep landing on my properties, right? Yeah, yeah. It's definitely it's a skill that will never go away. The internet's not going anywhere, and I think that, I taught my daughter when she was 6. I started training her, letting her go through the training. I did it because I really wanted to see if the youngest person I could find that I could work a computer, and then all the way to my father, who might be the worst on the computer I've ever met in my life. I put him through it too, and I took down all of his questions. I fixed the training because of the questions that someone with no internet ability whatsoever. And so I really, like, to me, I'm like, it doesn't matter who you are or your background or whatever, if you have a desire to do it. And then on top of that is, even on the technical side, we've built in now the whole entire outsourcing side. So now we have trained people that came through our training that maybe are like, hey, I need to put some of my skills to work, but I don't have a client yet, but I've got certified on these different things that you train. And it's like, then we're just chucking them work for other people in the group. So, it's not the most lucrative because you're kind of working for someone still, but it allows people to be able to put their skills to use and get some cash flow coming in so they can fund these businesses. And I think that's a big turn for 2021 that we've made, is being able to bring our trained students in as helpers for people that need outsourced work while they're still getting their business going, or maybe getting their cash flow up. Because not everyone's in the situation you were in, which is you had some cash on hand. Some people are really, really tight and they don't have the ability to outsource yet. So we're trying to create those opportunities where they can utilize all the outsourced work that is coming our way from our clients, and kind of meld the two together and help everyone make some money from these skills,